What is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 512. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Chris Seeley,
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero,
Yo, yo, yo.
returning once again, Mr. Brett Murdoch,
What's up, everybody?
Richard Bailey Jr.,
What's up, everybody?
and of course, Brian Manjoma.
Hello, hello, hello.
All right, we're back with another one. No Manny action tonight. He actually doesn't have power, which sounds horrible. See, he's literally sent back to the Stone Age, you know? He may have to empty out his fridge if this keeps going on, bro. Fuck. Chris, you remember that fucking blackout we had in New York, man, back in 2004?
2003.
Oh, 2003,
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, man. That was crazy. That was the only time... I've been living in America since 1987. That was the only time I experienced a blackout in this country. You know?
Yeah.
That shit doesn't really happen in New York, you know?
Were there any blackouts during Sandy?
No, not for me. There were blackouts, but not in my area.
Yeah, they were very localized, like
Yeah.
Transformers blowing out and stuff.
Yeah.
But this was everywhere, 2003.
Yeah, it was literally the entire northeastern seaboard. Like, fuck. Because some Canada shit, you know?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that was a wild night, man. All right, but you're not here to hear us talk about blackouts. You're here to talk about video games, and we're going to talk about the biggest thing, controversy as always. The nominees dropped for Game of the Year at the Game Awards, and we're going to go through all the categories here. Okay, first up. Okay, earlier this year, right, when we were playing Elden Ring, right, we're like, yo, like, this shit is, like, better than any game, you know, we played this year, full game, but, you know, obviously can't be nominated for Game of the Year because it's a DLC. Well, they went ahead and changed the rules, saying that DLC could be nominated for, you know, categories, and sure enough, one of the nominees is Shadow of the Erdtree.
Well, yeah, dude, they gotta do something to calm down people because otherwise they, like, what are they going to nominate Wukong or Stellar Blade? No, they'll do anything to make sure that shit doesn't happen.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Wukong did get nominated, but Brett, as the title of this episode suggests, Stellar Blade was snubbed. Surprise.
I do not know what the title of this episode is technically, so that is good to know that we are talking about this.
But Wukong's there. But anyway, so I'm going to run through all these, and this is the order IGN put them in, so, you know, hashtag deal with it, I guess. So I'm going to run through these. So nominees for Game of the Year are, and let me finish because I know one of these games is going to cause at least one of you guys to go, what the fuck is that? Because it was happened to me. Okay, Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor ReFantazio. Now, I'm just going to ask the question. I'm pretty sure half of you guys here asked, what in the fuck is Balatro? I had no idea. Chris, did you know what the fuck this was?
No, I had no idea.
Yeah. Did
they misspell something?
Yeah. Did anybody know about this game?
Tony, this is a moment where
did.
Brian comes in and exactly
Right, of course. I should have had the caveat. Besides Brian, has anybody heard of this game? But you know, as the internet was quick to point out to me, this is apparently a poker game. Poker games get nominated for Game of the Year now, but it's like a fucking roguelike poker game. Yeah, literally two things that I'm like, yeah, that no wonder I've never heard of this fucking. And it's a mobile game on top. I know it's on PC or whatever, but a lot of people, Brian, I'll let you explain it. But again, I'm just telling you what I heard. It was like, okay, it's a fucking roguelike poker game that's people mostly play on mobile. No wonder. And I got to give a shout out to the Discord crew. None of remember, these are the hardest of hardcore gamers. None of these motherfuckers talked about this game. One or two knew about it, but none of them were talking about it. But when I learned what it was, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, because it's a fucking poker game. Anyway, Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, it is just, I say just a poker game. It's a game based on poker, and I think the USP is that instead of just like your standard poker card, you can get a whole different bunch of other cards that affect the decks. So you can get like really crazy cards in there, like I think one of them was like a range of planets that somehow affect your deck, and it's basically just takes the concept of poker and then just throws in random cards that affect the deck, and you have to kind of use whatever's in your deck to do like good, make great hands. And again, I don't fully understand it because I glanced at it for a bit and then said, "Oh, it's a card game. I don't really care." Next, so it's that. But I was very surprised to see it there because I really didn't even think of it as a Game of the Year contender. But then again, I never really played it, so I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good shock.
Yeah. What's up, Rich?
I did want to make one comment on the game. I also heard about the game, never played it, but from what I understand, the game is considered the indie darling because it's made by one developer.
Oh, okay. So there you go. But yeah, I just found it interesting. Like people were like shocked that I had never heard of. I'm like, are you really shocked I never heard of a fucking poker game? Really? I don't know how to play poker in real life. The only times I played poker was in fucking Red Dead Redemption to get a trophy. I don't know how to play poker, you know? So why the fuck would I know about this? But anyway, go ahead.
I just want to take a little bit of credit. I predicted 5 of the 6 nominees.
Miss Cleo.
Of the Game of the Year awards. One of them, look, come on, man. Not even Jesus could have predicted that fucking game.
Yeah.
Like Belantro, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that was. But yeah, I mean, the rest of the games seem pretty obvious. The only one that you guys mentioned is Stellar Blade is one of those games that, you know, could have or should have, depending on what side of the fence you're on, should have been in that category of nominees. But yeah, once they said that the DLCs mattered, I'm like, oh yeah, dead giveaway. I've been ragging on this since day one when this DLC came out. Shadow of the Erdtree has to be nominated, especially in a weak ass year.
No, I agree with that. By the way, Dio, my man, he's in the chat. I'm glad you're here, bro, because we got some fighting game news, bro. I need your thoughts on this. But Carlos, something I'm looking at this list right now, with the exception of Balatro, all these games are Asian games. Yeah. Very interesting. And in my opinion, I think Stellar Blade should have been there besides Balatro. Balatro, come on, give me a fucking break. You know? I honestly believe the people that say they play this game only have never heard of this fucking game either. They're just playing off. They're fucking crazy.
I know it's a video game award show. Everything's subjective. It doesn't really matter. But if Balatro wins Game of the Year, I think we should just cancel the stream for the Game Awards.
I kind of agree with you. Yeah. You know what? Let's put it down right now. If Balatro wins Game of the Year, we will no longer stream this fucking show. I know it's fun to, you know, because let's just be honest, we stream it to roast it. But that just proves how ridiculous this is. If that fucking Balatro winning, a fucking mobile game winning, no way. Although here's my conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat, Alex Jones, if you will, right? I think Shadow of the Erdtree is going to win, just so Miyazaki could have his win without the Bill Clinton kid showing up, you know? Just to make it up. So, go ahead, Rich.
2 quick comments to make. First and foremost, Balatro Game of the Year, absolutely not. But it probably will win Best Indie Game, so there you go. It's going to win something. I feel like every game in that category is going to win one award. It just won't be Game of the Year.
I agree.
And the other comment I was going to make is if Shadow of the Erdtree does win Game of the Year, then they need to redo Game Awards last year and nominate Phantom Liberty as a Game of the Year contender instead of an ongoing game.
You know, me and Carlos will sign off on that. You know,
yes.
There's a couple of things. There's one. We're gonna go through this, but like when I get to the fighting game category, I'm gonna call out all kinds of bullshit. But yeah, other than that, other than Balatro, I don't have a problem with this. Go ahead, guys. Anything you just want to say about these nominees?
I'll put up my power rankings in terms of which games I think will win.
Yeah.
I think Balatro is at dead last. If that wins, like I mentioned,
We're done.
it would be the surprise of the century.
Yeah.
I think after that is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I just feel like
What about
there's
Metaphor?
no steam for that. Oh, Metaphor is right after that. Oh, no. Sorry. Black Myth Wukong is after Balatro.
Okay.
Black Myth Wukong after Balatro, and then after Black Myth Wukong. Oh, Black Myth Wukong is it's just a good game. It's just super hyped and it's sold like crazy.
Yeah.
So if it wins, the only reason it wins is because they want the China play, and that's
I agree. I agree.
Black Myth Wukong is second to last in the power rankings. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is third to last in the power rankings, simply for the fact that it's a remake. It didn't have as much oomph as the Final Fantasy remake.
Yeah.
And it's just even in a weak year, it just went. It came and went.
I agree.
After that, Metaphor, ReFantazio, simply because it was a surprise of the year. I feel like no one anticipated this to be as good. It's got the whole Atlas Persona, Shin Megami Tensei kind of vibes that people really like. So it might get that type of crowd. So it's the top 3 strong contender. It's number 3. Number 2 is Astrobot because it's like the darling game. It's the safest game to choose, and it's a fully fledged game. So out of all the fully fledged games, I feel like this is the top spot. And number 1 is Elden Ring. It's just you're not going to get many people that are going to complain about Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree winning, except for the folks that think that DLCs shouldn't be nominated. That's the only backlash you'll get. But as far as quality, everyone can agree this is probably the best quality in video games this year. And it's Elden Ring. It's the most popular IP out of all of these.
Yeah, I agree. Even though, again, I'm happy Elden Ring's here, but I also do think having DLC nominated is bullshit. Like my stance hasn't changed to that. You still need the main game to play this. You can't just play it on your own. If it was a playable on its own game, then okay, you can make a case for it. But my original stance hasn't changed. Even though I will be happy if it wins, don't get me wrong, I still think it's bullshit. Go ahead.
This one goes even further, bro. Like, it's not just like you have to purchase the original game. You have to purchase the original game, beat it, and then beat the father of all litmus tests in fucking Moog.
Shit.
Like,
yeah.
I know a lot of people that can't even fucking get past Moog without some help. I spent 3 days helping motherfuckers because of that.
Yeah. So, Brett, I guess you agree with us, right? It's like you're happy it's here, but you also think it's bullshit that it's here.
I always thought that DLCs should be allowed, as long as they are judged on their own merit and not the merit DLC of the parent game.
Yeah.
What's that?
Again, we said this before. Why can't you just have a best DLC category? That would just solve this. It would be simple.
But here's the thing: if a DLC is better than a whole ass game, then sure, we could let it compete in the major leagues. Like that's fine as long as you're not judging it off of the parent game that it was. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that. But the fact, like you said, not only do you need the parent game, but you need to beat a really fucking hard boss in the parent game to play this. Again, I am playing devil's advocate. I'm an Elden Ring stan, obviously, but I'm presenting that side of it.
Yeah, and I agree with that stance of it. But Elden Ring is the exception that might prove certain rules, but I don't know, most games aren't like that. It's getting kind of hard to distinguish between a game and a DLC. Honestly, period. Considering a lot of DLC, a lot of times was originally a game that got held back, or like Spider-Man and Miles Morales.
Yeah,
it's it is DLC, but it's standalone DLC, so it's its own game. It's the lines have become blurred, so I don't see why we shouldn't let it. Again, just as long as you're not, just giving it to Elden Ring for being Elden Ring. You got to give it to be Elden Ring. You got to give it to Shadow of the Erdtree for being Shadow of the Erdtree, not for being Elden Ring.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. All right. Let's move on to the next category: best game direction. I would list them, but they're literally the same as game of the year. I'm not even kidding. I had to go to another website. I'm like, did IGN just fuck up here? No, it's the same exact games in the same in order. Okay. And what the fuck does best game direction mean? I honestly don't know.
Like, who was the best game director?
Best game direction, though.
Yeah, but when they say best game director,
Yeah, when they say that,
person,
and if it was art direction, it would say art direction. This just says best game direction.
and there's an art direction category.
Yeah,
too.
I don't know what the fuck this means. I honestly don't.
I think it's just sort of more of a overall sense of like how you developed a game from the ground up. Like, oh, like where Elden Ring, it created this world and had these mechanics and all, and these bosses were in here and here and here and stuff like that. Or Astrobot, how the level designs and the way that the controller and stuff, like it's like a culmination of things that I feel like it's more of categorized in this nomination.
Yeah, Rich, I'll let you go next, but just real quick, Jolly Yellow Nerd, and thank you for posting this, bro. From the TJ website, best game direction is awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. So I guess the full package, but isn't that kind of why you nominated a game for Game of the Year too?
What?
I think it's different. I think Game of the Year is like executing something well. It sounds like they're saying game direction is doing something different.
Yeah, but hold on, Brett, is that your dog snoring?
Oh yeah, can you guys hear her?
Yes, it's hilarious.
Oh, yeah, she's gone long.
I'm like, who the fuck is sleeping? And I was like, oh, it's Brett's dog. Anyway, Rich, what were you gonna say, bro? So, hold on, real quick. Hold on, where's Brett's dog? There he is. Shout out to Brett's dog. Just sleeping through the podcast.
Oh yeah, right. I could yell as loud as I want. She won't wake up.
It's a good girl.
Rock's the beast.
All right, go ahead, Rich.
Oh no, I was just going to say the exact same thing about what it says on their website. So we're good.
Okay, cool. Nothing created for Elden Ring. Its DLC and metaphor looks like Persona. I think Astrobot has it because Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is continuing DLC standalone. That's what its Syrian Air Force says.
Yeah, and I agree.
So what do you think would win? Astrobot?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
I think probably Astrobot. I'm the biggest Elden Ring or the From Software fan ever, and I'm like, bro, you can't give it to From Software for this. Like that would just be ridiculous. So.
Yeah. All right.
And I'm not. Yeah. I don't even love Astrobot, but I'll admit, like, it's a new creative thing. Wait, no, it's just a platformer. It's just fucking Mario. What am I saying?
Oh man.
Well, I have a tinfoil hat. I think they're gonna give Shadow of the Erdtree the best game direction and give Astrobot Game of the Year.
Oh shit!
Only because Astrobot is the most. I'll just say it. It's the most politically neutral of all the titles on there. And so, just because Jeff Keighley is a bitch, he's going to play it safe.
Damn, son.
Tell me how you really feel.
I thought you were going to say he's milquetoast. No, you went to the next level. You say he's a bitch. All right, fair enough.
I don't.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Brian.
Brian, go ahead, bro.
I think Balatro might win best game direction based on what it says.
Excuse me?
Oh.
Well, again, just reading on what it says, what it talks about vision and innovation. Again, Shadow of the Erdtree is a DLC, so I think that automatically just says no. Final Fantasy is remake, so that says no to me. And then we're left with Metaphor, which is very Persona inspired. You can't argue that. So to me, that also says no. And then you're left with Astrobot, Balatro, and Black Myth Wukong. And out of those three, Balatro is the one that's the most different in terms of what we've seen before. Like, again, as far as I know, there's no game like that. So I think it wins in my point of view. But then again, the Game Awards, anything wins these days. So I literally have no idea what is going to win. I mean, like last year we had the great upset where Spider-Man won no awards and like some random Xbox game won 2 awards. So, It's always a big twist. So screw it. I say make Elden Ring win both just for the sake of it.
Hey, listen, gotta make that. You know what? I'll stop it. Oh man. All right. Next up, we have best narrative. Okay, so we do have some new ones in here, even though a couple ones we talked about. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Metaphor, Senua's Saga, and Silent Hill 2.
Okay,
I feel like.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why is it?
Isn't Final Fantasy VII Rebirth the same story as the Final Fantasy game that came before it?
It's not just
Or did
that.
they change some stuff?
No, they changed some stuff, but it's literally the middle part of a story.
Okay.
The game, but that's why I don't think it should be here. I love this game, but I'm like, it's literally the second act. It's like it's just the second act, you know? I can't speak about Yakuza because I haven't played it. Same thing with Metaphor, although I hear it's really good. Senua, I haven't played it.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
Absolutely not. That should not be in best story. No.
Yeah. And then my other question is, Silent Hill 2, should I even be here? That's a remake. But then again, we have DLC, so it's so frustrating. What a frustrating show.
So just to I guess to push up my glasses and say, well, actually, it's technically not best story category. It's more like best narrative is more like how you tell the story, how you display and portray the story.
Is there a best story category?
I don't know.
So I'm looking because if I don't see one, and I don't.
No, they mean it in the sense that Tony does. Even though you're correct, they mean it in the
yeah. That's what
it's a nice way to say dumbed down.
Because if that's the case, then there's no way in hell Silent Hill 2 and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth should be even nominated.
Exactly. But then again, we're going to go through this. There's some shit here that should not be nominated at all. You know? Yeah, and serious enough for us, I realized you could play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth by itself, but it's literally the second act of a 3-act story, dude. It's literally that. It starts off where the last one left off, and it ends on a fucking cliffhanger. You know? All right. Anyway, moving on. Next one. Best art direction: Astrobot, Black Myth, Elden Ring, Metaphor, and Neva.
Never.
Another game no one's ever heard of.
Well, I do want to make a comment. I have heard of Never. I actually reviewed it on the website.
Oh shit! Let me go check that out.
Yeah, it's made by the same team that made Gris. So, yeah, I mean,
I played that fucking game at this Apple event last week. Never.
There you go.
Yeah. It has that kind of like the art style. It's I would call it a colorful version of like oh my god, what's the name of that black and white game I used to like, Carlos, the platformer, the creepy one?
Black and white game.
What, Inside or
Limbo?
Oh yeah, Limbo.
Yeah, that colorful Limbo / Journey. Throw some of that in there. I guess I guess that has a good art style. I mean, out of all, I would give it a Metaphor because it's fucking Persona art style. That's what I would go for. You know.
But here's a question for those of you that played Black Myth Wukong. How is the character designs and the animations and stuff in that game?
They're good, but you know what it is? When I think art direction, I don't think realism. I think an actual art style. You know, maybe I'm judging it wrong. But Black Myth, you could tell they're trying to go for like really very detailed, not hyper realistic, but very hyper detailed graphics, which are good, but I don't consider that an art direction. I could be wrong though. By the way, Dragon Quest doesn't qualify because it came out too late, which is something else I say about the show. Brian, I hate to say this, I agree with what Kotaku said. Kotaku said this award show should be held in January. I agree with that.
Well, we've always said this because some of the nominations are just like get scrubbed.
Yeah. But anyway, go ahead, Brian, about art direction.
Oh, I was about to say, why is it that some categories have 6 games and some have 5?
I noticed that. I thought I was bugging.
Same here.
Yeah, I thought they ran out of games or something. Yeah, no,
Well, they did have 6, and then they deleted Stellar Blade.
Oh shit! Yeah, right. Celebrate. Yeah, could have been on here, right? Best art. I don't care. Whatever. Then again, I don't care about any of these. But does anybody have any suggestions for what might win best art direction?
Probably
I'd say
Metaphor or Neva.
Yeah.
Yep. I say that and possibly Astrobot purely just because it has a style and it's nostalgic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree with that. All right. Next up, best score in music: Astrobot, Final Fantasy, Metaphor, Silent Hill. Whoa, shit! What the fuck is that? Stellar Blade? Excuse me. I didn't realize they. Me personally, I would give it Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade, fantastic score. You know, as a matter of fact, just to prove the point, Rich, Manny's girlfriend wants him to buy the game just so she could hear that music. You know, the music is fucking great. It's really good. And I was reminded of this week because I was checking out the DLC, the X Nier Automata DLC. I'm like, man, like there's some good ass music. But anyway, what's your thoughts on this, Rich? What do you think's gonna win?
Oh no, I agree 100%. Stellar Blade should win this. I didn't play Final Fantasy Rebirth. I haven't played Silent Hill. And Metaphor, I haven't played either. Although I will play that soon because I have to play it before the year is over. I personally would pick Stellar Blade because that soundtrack was great. I remember I was talking with you guys before when we spoke about the game in detail on this show before, and the soundtrack is awesome. So.
Yeah, because again, I always say this about modern fighting games, not fighting games, modern games. And I've been saying this since 2010, bro. I wrote this shit on the fucking blog. I was like, why does music suck now? It's because most game music tries to be like movie music where it's not meant to be in your face. It's meant to complement the scene, which is fine for immersion, in the moment. But like, if you were to just put these songs on in the background, you wouldn't fucking know what the hell it is. Meanwhile, if you listen to some old school shit, you're like, damn, let's go. And this is why even modern games, that do have memorable music, they stand out. I remember, it was Nier Automata, sure enough, Nier Automata, fucking Sonic Mania, and Yakuza. Persona 5, they all came out like the same year, basically, right? Or then I'm like, yo, these games have great fucking music, And it stood out because most games don't have great music. I'll say they have objectively good music that, again, complements the scene, but it doesn't stick with you, bro, So go ahead.
I agree. It doesn't try to stand out. It's more trying to blend in. So it doesn't really, it doesn't really stick with you, and it sucks. Yeah, it's not to the spirit of what scores and soundtracks for video games were or how they came up.
Yeah, man. Remember, Carlos, you and I were playing through Halo. Was one of the main things. I'm like, yo, this music is fucking dope. Like, man, this thing gets you hype. You don't get shit like that no more. Or I should say, it's very rare. And then Carlos, remember when we got to Halo 4? I'm like, what the fuck's up with this dumbass music?
That was the worst. Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell they were thinking with that one. I mean, it's fucking 343.
Yeah, 343. There you go.
Didn't they kick what's his name out by then?
But Brian Bear. No, not Bear.
That's the other guy.
Was that All Down or something like that?
Yeah, McDonald.
Oh, there you go.
They kicked him out. Yeah, that's why the music was ass.
All right, so there you go. Best score music and a related topic. Best audio design. Astrobot, Call of Duty, Final Fantasy, Senua's Saga, and Silent Hill 2. I'm guessing Senua's Saga is probably going to win this one.
Yeah. Even though shout out to Astrobot.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, just with that controller.
That's I feel like that's the real showdown is between those two games.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hellblade might get this one though, because I remember I was listening to that listen with headphones. I hear people whispering in both of my headphones to be like, oh, hold on a second, that was a little too immersive. But so yeah, this might be Hellblade too. Might be that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. All right, next
That
up.
was just Phil Spencer having broken into your apartment, bro.
Oh
I hate to
shit!
tell you.
Oh,
Dude,
man.
they're doing what they gotta do to sell Xboxes, all right?
Yeah, this is an Xbox though. All right, best performance. Oh, go ahead, Brett.
Hellblade wasn't. Never mind. Don't mind me.
All right, best performance, and this is star. Not. I remember last year. This is how you knew I was in the weeds when it comes to like being a PC reviewer. I was like, game with best performance. How are you going to judge that shit at an award show? And I was like, no, best performance like a fucking actor. Best performance. I'm not going to bother naming these fucking actors. Life is Strange, Final Fantasy, Star Wars, Silent Hill, and Hellblade. I don't really care.
Hellblade's gonna win.
Yeah, probably another one, or they may give it to Humberly Gonzalez. Humberly, that's a hell of a name. Maybe, you know who might win this? Brianna White, Eris, because people like her.
Yeah, she's pretty popular.
Yeah.
I think doesn't she stream or something like that?
She does. Yeah, I think it's gonna be her
Yeah.
because she's popularity contest. As it goes. That's a pretty blonde white girl. So there you go.
I mean, that's in her name.
Yeah, Brianna White. Like, what is you? You white? Cracker. Torrance, man. Torrance, man. He hit me up today. I'll tell you off air though. All right. Next up, innovation and accessibility. Here we go. Oh, and Rich, your favorite game of the year is nominated for this one.
What's that?
A game that I'm surprised hasn't been nominated for game of the year.
A game that shouldn't win this award either. From what I understand, but we'll see. Yeah.
And I'll purposely save that game for last here in the list. All right, innovation, accessibility. So we got Call of Duty, Diablo 4, Prince of Persia, Star Wars, and Failguard. Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead. Let it out.
I'm sorry. Sorry, that just hurt. That just hurt because I know what's coming. I'm bracing myself.
Oh, no, I said it already. Failguard.
Oh, okay, yep.
Yeah. Brett, don't you find it interesting that you would have thought Failguard would be all over this? It's not nominated for a lot. Very interesting.
I mean, no, I think that we've seen internal memos that said they knew this was going to be a fucking just shit show.
I
So,
don't want to get too deep into weeds, but I got to say this. Okay, the website The Gamer, they are more woke than Polygon. Even they wrote an article saying Dragon Age Veilguard is like your friend that's too woke. They even said this.
oh yeah. Well, no, it's. I think that there's been an agreement, at least where we come from here. But like holy shit! Like from what I understand, internally at BioWare, they knew this thing was going to be dead in the water, which is why they decided to just kind of rush past and not just not commit to making any DLC for it, but commit to not making any DLC. The thing that I hate about that statement is they said they just moved the whole team directly into working on Mass Effect, which is not the thing you want to say. You want to say they've been all put inside a small room, circular room, and been told to find the corner for the next 2 years. Like that's that's what you want to say, but like no, now they're just going straight into Mass Effect. Great. I'm sure that's going to be much better, but don't worry. It's going to be darker and grittier and more like real life, which is what everybody wants from space fantasy games.
Okay. Dio says, I'm honestly checking in the Game Awards show for the worldwide unveiling of game trailers. Watch our stream of it, bro. It's more entertaining. Trust me on that.
Yeah, at least we'll roast it. It's like having to watch Twilight for some reason. Like, watch the riff tracks.
Yeah, there you go.
Bets on how many Facebook live ads are in this show.
Yeah.
Ugh.
All right, so whatever, innovation, accessibility, and a related topic, our favorite top. I'm surprised Dragon Age isn't in this one, Chris. Games for Impact.
Yeah, I was looking. I was like,
Okay, so let's go down the list here, and I'm going to do it in a different order. I'm going to do it in the games we've heard of, and then a bunch of random shit. You know.
Question is, how many of the games that you don't know, Tony, do you think that I've heard of?
Oh, you've probably heard of all of them. You know.
We'll find out.
We'll find out together. All right, here we go. So, Life is Strange, Senua's Saga, Tales of Kenzara. We have heard of that. All right, Neva, we just talked about, and Brian, let's get to the good stuff. Closer the Distance and Indica.
Now, here's the funny thing. I actually haven't heard of one of those games before.
Uh-oh, here we go.
It's Indica. It's Indica.
Indica is
No,
closer?
I have heard of Indica. It's like this. I think it's like don't get me wrong. Okay, I might be wrong. It might be a Russian game, but it's like you play as a nun, having basically. I think it's like during World War I or there's some sort of conflict. You play as a nun, and then you pass a soldier, and then it's like you have to take him across the line of something, and then there's some moral quandary on whether or not you're doing the right thing or not, and then it gets all weird at the end. The other one, never heard of before.
Yeah,
I was like,
Closer to the Distance. We know what these games are, so we don't need to go too into it. I was, oh my, it's hilarious. By the way, Chris, I'm going to go with your theory. Every time I see a category that only has 5 games, I'm just going to imagine because they just pulled Stellar Blade off of it. This is not one. This is not one of them, obviously. So yeah, Games for Impact. There you go. Next, one of our favorite categories, Best Ongoing Game.
Is our game there?
Here we go.
We'll see, Carlos. Destiny 2. Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Helldivers 2. I predict Helldivers 2 is going to win this one.
Yo, no, fuck this. No, I'm pissed.
What's up?
Helldivers 2 just came out.
yeah,
It
how's
came
it
out this
ongoing?
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing ongoing about it. It's just going.
I mean,
There you
compared to
go.
some of the live service games, that's it's going a lot longer.
Yeah. Brett, what are your thoughts on Diablo being nominated for so many fucking awards here?
I hate it. I absolutely hate it. The game is mid personified. Everybody can't just. It's just not great. It's not great. I've played it. I know this. I'm not insane. I'm not taking crazy pills. It's not like the people who made it don't even know how to play it. It's not good. The entire player base is like, this kind of sucks. Like, it's I don't even know. I don't know how it even got there. Like, it's we just live in a fucking crazy world.
I believe I know why it got there. Because to quote Mr. Adam Vale, Xbox got to have something in this showcase.
I
There you
mean,
go.
fair. They didn't spend all that money for fucking nothing, I guess.
Yeah. And
I mean, Senua's been nominated a couple of times.
Yeah.
So Call
That's
of Duty
true.
got nominated once.
Yeah.
So is Fortnite just going to be there for as long as the game is active? Yeah, if they need to fill out a slot, yeah. I mean, technically, you know what? I'll get into it when we get to the fighting game part. A lot of those games could be put on here too. You know?
Yeah. This could
What a
have
stupid category, man.
Why isn't Counter Strike in this?
Yeah, why isn't Counter-Strike on there? Why isn't League of Legends and all those other games that are consistently in the top 5 on Steam on
Dota.
here? Dota, you know.
Banana.
Banana. Where's Balatro, son?
The question I have is, I don't know if it's just me because I'll actually need to search this, but every single game that didn't come out this year, I swear have already won the best ongoing game.
Oh yeah, they
Because
have.
I know that Final Fantasy has. I'm certain Fortnite has. So this it just makes this category even worse because you're rewarding the same games. So
Brian, and this isn't the only instance of games that have won before showing up again this year. This fucking show is insane to me. And the fact that people like that they take it seriously and they think this is an honest, like heartfelt celebration of games, they're fools, man. This is nothing but a glorified fucking commercial. That's all it is. I know I sound like a fucking broken record. I say this shit. I've been saying this for like 10 fucking years now, but it's true, you know? Anyway, go ahead.
Games like Fortnite, do kind of deserve these type of acclaim because they are super consistent with how they perform throughout the years. Diablo 4, that's this year's game, right?
That's
it just came out. Helldivers 2 just came out. It's freaking ridiculous that they have to nominate those games for this category. It just doesn't really make any sense. Destiny 2, I can understand. Final Fantasy 14, I can understand. Fortnite, I can understand. The other two have no reason to be there. So yeah, it's sometimes you can sort of move the goalpost when it comes to language, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Oh, the next one's going to get even more ridiculous. But real quick, I want to read what Jolly Yellow Nerd said because it's perfect. The Game Awards are closing in on becoming participation trophies where nearly everyone wins. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Here we go. Best community support, Carlos.
Oh wait, hold on. I need to double check this. I'm looking at the best ongoing game, and if this is not the list and it's just the winners, then Final Fantasy 14 has won it twice.
Oh yeah, it's won several times.
It's won this category twice.
2021 and 2022.
Oh my god! What a joke of a show this is, bro.
Well, this is the same award show. I don't know if it won, but Cyberpunk was nominated for best
ongoing game because they had a DLC.
Forgot about that.
Oh my god! Here we go. Best community support. This game won Game of the Year last year, and it's on here. Baldur's Gate 3. Final. You know what? Let me read through these and try. I mean, if you guys want to exclaim, go ahead, because every one of these that I'm going to name, you're going to be like, what? Best community support, whatever the fuck that means. Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, No Man's Sky.
That makes sense, actually.
What is this category and why? How is it different from the previous one?
So, allow me to respond to this real fast. According to their definition on the website, recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates / patches.
Oh my god. It's just a bunch of gobbledygook. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, that's.
I think it's their way of saying, like, at least in some of the examples, a lot of those games have continued to give free updates to their community. They have been responsive to the things that the community has asked for. They do the kinds of things that we deem important in games. So they're just kind of cramming all that, and that's like a customer satisfaction.
Oh my god!
And they kind of cram it all into that category. It sounds like it's No Man's Sky, fucked up originally, but has since just been put out. It's supported itself with free updates for years now. Baldur's Gate has continued to since its full release, add patches and updates that add new dialogue options, new endings, They kind of opened up and expanded evil playthrough options because the community was asking for it. They just opened up mod tools and a workshop pack because the community was reaching for it, and all for $0 extra. So that is great, but it kind of seems weird to just shove it all in a corner and then kind of hand wave it off before getting back to the commercially viable shit again. But that's whatever.
Hey Brett,
yeah,
everything you said sounds amazing. It also sounds like best ongoing game.
It does.
I mean, is just supporting a game making it an ongoing game? Because if so, then you kind of support that idea that Cyberpunk should have gotten it.
Right, but like what you're mentioning, it's like it sounds more like they're adding new levels, new designs, or whatever.
Sounds like an ongoing game to me.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh,
it's not just ongoing games and whatnot. It's community feedback. Like, it's a bunch of stuff that's rolled in there, and a lot of it comes down to, like, yes, listening and adjusting the game as your customers want. But there's a lot that this feels like painting with too broad of strokes for this category.
Yeah. All right. Well, go ahead, Brian. You're gonna say something?
I was, but then I realized that what I was about to say makes no sense, so I shut up.
Yeah.
Because I thought the whole thing was based on it's based on how much content, like, you keep making game content, but then Helldivers hasn't really had content. It's just had balancing patches. So I don't know.
We live in a day and age where, like, balancing patches and fixing broken stuff about your game is considered above an extra.
Wow.
You know how when you see best community support, when I think of just that title, I would think like the Super Mario Maker community, like, that makes all these levels. The community makes levels, and they just feed off each other, and that's how people play. Or Halo, when people would create levels there, or Fallout that had like all these mods that the community would make, that kind of stuff. Like, I feel like that would be more in the spirit of that, at least from the way I interpret it. But
I kind of feel like that'd be included.
Yeah, but
I don't think that their definition limits it to that, though, because they in there they said adding extra content and stuff like that. So I think that they're taking too broad of the approach, because I do think, Carlos, that should be its own thing, its own category to be judged. I don't think that they're doing that by their definition, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Next up, best independent game. All right, here we go. And Brian, you tell me which one of these you've heard of, besides the ones we already mentioned. Animal Well.
Oh, Tony?
What's up, Brian?
That is easy. None of them.
Oh, damn. Even Balatro?
Even I was like, I've only heard of 2 of them.
Yeah.
The rest, I have never heard of before in my life. So that's impressive.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. All right, so here we go. Animal Well, Balatro, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, Neva, and UFO 50. Okay.
I mean, why the hell should Balatro not win this?
Yeah, just give it to Balatro because it's an indie darling. Oh, these categories, bro. The next one is best debut indie game.
Oh, that was totally different.
Yeah, no, you're literally just splitting categories up. You're gonna have like 500,000 categories by like in 2 years. Like,
to be fair,
yeah,
Yes.
I actually agree with this one the most, because it actually, to me, it makes more sense because you're able to actually get a lot more indie games nominated, because for the most part, indie games don't get nominated, as we've seen. It's mostly just dominated by the big boys. So at least here you can recognize, okay, this is a new studio with a new game. Whereas the other one is, okay, this is an independent studio with just a game out. So it can be existing or new. So at least you can get more indie games in that way.
But Brian, aren't the games in Best Independent Game already new, already debuts?
Oh no, this is for the studio. So best debut indie game is the first game. It's a new studio's first game.
Can't they just say best debut from a new indie? You know why? Like, can't they say studio in there instead of?
I agree with you.
Yeah,
Tony. I totally agree with you. I'm just really annoyed at the naming, but I do like the idea. It's like, okay, new studio, new game. Here's some awards, and the other one's just like, okay, you're an independent studio. Here's some awards.
Yeah,
to me, that's fine.
Yeah, go ahead, Rich.
Oh no, I agree with everything that you both said. My only complaint with this category is 2 of the games nominated in this category are also nominated for best indie game. So it would be good, like Brian said, to include other indie games in here that aren't already nominated. But I guess it is what it is.
Yeah. By the way, I should read these real quick. Balatro, Animal Well, Banner Lords, Pacific Drive, The Plucky Squire.
I'm gonna say something controversial.
Uh-oh.
I disagree with Brian Manjoma.
Oh, that is controversial.
Uh-oh.
There you go.
Well, it's just one of those things, man. You know, it's that time of the day. Here's the thing. I agree with the sentiment because these games typically don't get that much shine, but we have to put this in context. And it's twofold. Number one, they're all nominated. This best debut indie. They're all nominated against Balatro, which is also nominated for Game of the Year, which means none of these games are going to win any of these categories. And if somehow
it's about recognition, Carlos.
Well, here's the thing. That's the twofold part. That's the number 2. You think these games are going to get that much shine during the Game Awards? Like, yeah, they're nominated. They're in a website page.
They're probably going to have them just listed. The winner is,
winner is, and that's all that's going to happen. And that's why I agree with the sentiment, but I feel like it's kind of bullshit because it's like you mentioned, Tony. Yeah, exactly. Like it's gonna be like a 2-second announcement. It's like, and the nominees for best debut indie game is Animal Well, Balatro, Manor Lords, Pacific Drive, The Plucky Squire, and the winner is Balatro. And the best social media award is, and that's all the shine that it's going to get during the award show.
Oh, if it would have 4 minutes of commercials.
Yeah.
And it's going to get followed by commercials and the world premiere and that's all it's going to get. If it would have gotten at least a little bit more shine, like spend more time during the show to present the actual games.
Pre-show announcement. Dio says pre-show announcement. You're right. Just list them all off and shit. Go ahead, Rich.
So I want to make a comment that is going to be controversial, and I do agree with what Carlos said. But let me just say this right now. What Carlos said about having the reduced announcements with a very short time, that definitely better be the case for best content creator, best esports team, because nobody cares about those announcements. I don't know who cares about that stuff. I know I don't, and I've seen other people reacting to this. They don't care about that either. So hopefully that is reduced.
Yeah.
And that's also if it actually gets that. Sometimes games win stuff off screen. It's like, this game also won this award. It's like, wait, what? Like, how are you giving out awards off screen? Makes no sense.
Stupid. Speaking about game categories are probably going to be announced off screen. Best mobile game.
Oh, I wonder what's nominated in this one that's going to win. Obviously.
Yeah. Balatro is on this, obviously. AFK Journey, Pokemon Trading Game, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket, Wuthering Waves, Zenless Zone Zero. All right. Balatro.
Now,
I was going to win that. Go ahead.
I have received quite a bit of emails about this Zenless game. I haven't played it, so I guess there are some people playing it, but it's probably not going to win against Balatro, I
No,
guess.
well,
We'll have
Atro's
to
going to
wait and
probably
see.
win every category it's in. All right, next up, best VR slash
Hold on.
AR. Oh, go ahead, Brian. Go ahead.
There's like one game in there that I have big issues with. AFK Journey.
What is this?
Um,
I don't even know. Obviously, Brian, I never heard of this game, so
Have you heard of the term AFK?
I know what
before?
AFK
You must
is.
have.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
How the fuck are you going to nominate a game where you don't play?
Is that
It's
what the
literally
game is?
AFK. It's AFK.
Is that how you play the game? You just don't play it?
Well, it just plays itself.
Oh my god.
Hence, the fuck. Like, okay, most things I can overlook because it's just normal Keeley nonsense, but this is like, oh, it's a game you don't really play. You just kind of wait and then it plays itself. And I really don't like that as a concept.
Brian, I'm sorry, I have to do this since you're just giving me that perfect tea. Game journalist mode.
Oh no, it might as well be at that point. But yeah, I just took big umbrage to that, and that's even on top of the idea that it's the best mobile game category, which in itself is nonsense. But
Yeah.
whatever.
Absolute joke. Just like the show. All right, next. Best AR VR game. Or, excuse me, best VR AR game. Arizona Sunshine Remake. I didn't realize that Arizona Sunshine was so popular that it needed a remake. Asgard's Wrath 2, Batman Arkham Shadow, Metal Hellsinger VR, Metro Awakening. So there you go, Brian. Metro gets nominated for something.
Yeah, but I think it's going to lose to Batman.
Batman's
because
going to win.
Isn't this like Kevin Conroy's last role?
I
or
believe.
was it?
I'm not sure. No,
Yeah,
his last role was in fucking Suicide Squad where they killed him. Jesus.
Yeah, I just was going to add, our very own Torrance Davis has highly endorsed this Batman game, so yeah, that's probably going to win.
Yeah, it's going to be Batman. All right, next category here. Best action game. I'm looking at this. I already have some problems here. We'll get into it. Black Myth Wukong, cool. Call of Duty for action game. Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, and Warhammer 40,000. There's only 2 action games on here, bro.
Yeah.
There's only 2 fucking action games on here. It's Wukong and Stellar Blade. Call of Duty is a fucking first-person shooter. Helldivers is whatever the fuck Helldivers is, and Warhammer's a third-person shooter. What the fuck are we doing? You're making up all these crazy fucking categories that make no sense, and then you lump in shit that don't belong together. That do deserve their own categories.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I'm gonna read best sports / fucking racing game in a bit.
And by the way, let me add to add more aggravation, Tony. Wait till you get to the action adventure category when there are games in there that I didn't know that was considered an action game, like Silent Hill 2. So
Wait, what?
Yeah, I see it.
But before we get to that, does anybody have anything to say about this best action game category?
Yeah, why isn't Balatro on here?
I mean, but
You gotta get on that action.
my God,
It's so stupid.
by this definition, any game should be on here because there's some kind of action happening. You're literally making up fucking categories. You have 3 fucking indie categories, and then you're lumping in shit that shouldn't be lumped in. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Is there a first-person shooting category here? There is not a first-person shooting category in this. I'm not making this up. There's no first-person shooting category. There's no shooter category.
Yeah, they should at least have a shooter category. But yeah, I don't understand why that's not on. Not a category that exists.
This is stupid. And I'm going to just jump right into it. Best action adventure game. All right. All right. Let me get through this. Astrobot, Prince of Persia, Silent Hill 2, Star Wars, and Echoes of Wisdom, the Zelda game.
The guys who put together this show know that horror is a genre, right? Do they know that?
Chris, that genre is not here, but you have 2 fucking indie categories.
Yeah,
you have 2 fucking
shooters
categories. Yeah, you have 2 fucking categories for community game.
Yes,
But no shooter, no horror.
no shooter or no horror. Oh my god!
Only one of these is a fucking action adventure game. It's Star Wars. What the fuck is this shit? Prince of Persia is a side-scrolling whatever the fuck. Astrobot is, a platformer. Silent Hill's a horror game. Legend of Zelda is some fucking whatever Zelda is. Bro, I'm getting more annoyed by it, and I haven't even gotten to fighting games, man. Oh my god.
I think it's fair to say that Jeff Keighley is Mr. Fantastic because the amount of reaching he did to pull Silent Hill 2 into here is amazing.
How the hell did Silent Hill get, bro?
You have to be
a horror game.
stretching it and reaching really hard.
That is the ultimate reach. Like Stretch Armstrong, man. All right, next up, let's get into it. Best RPG. Very interesting. I'm just going to say right now, Fail Guard is not on here. Very interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, let's get into it, man. Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring, Final Fantasy, Yakuza, and Metaphor. Okay, I can at least say this. Yes, these are all RPGs. Yes, they are. Even Yakuza is an RPG. It's turn-based. So you got that right, Jeff Keighley. So what, out of all these, I would say give it to Dragon's Dogma because it's the most RPG-ish out of all of these. But it's probably going to be Elden Ring again.
Or if Metaphor doesn't win Game of the Year, then I think it will win Best RPG.
Yeah, because it's going to win. It's got to win something, All right, so here we go. I've been waiting for this one all night. Best fighting game. And this category exemplifies everything wrong with this fucking game show, bro. I'm going to go through these. Then we'll get into it. Grand Blue Fantasy versus Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Marvel vs. Capcom Collection, Multiverses, Tekken 8. Remember how earlier in the show we said, hey, didn't that game win before? Multiverses is on here. It won 2 years ago when it was a beta. When it was a fucking beta. So by that logic, Street Fighter 6 should have won 2022 because it was also beta. Multiverses, a beta, beat King of Fighters 15, bro.
Wow.
So, but it's on here. But let's go through these one by one. Grand Blue Fantasy versus, that's a fighting game. No problem. I'm sorry. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is not a fucking fighting game. That's an arena of fucking whatever the fuck it is. Arena brawler. Yeah. It's not a fighting game.
That's like the Budokai games. That's not a fighting game either.
Yes, you can play it online against other people, but the shit is not balanced to be a fucking fighting game. There's 400 characters in this fucking game. You think there's balance in that? And I'm sorry. And you know me. This is the game that got me back into fighting games. Marvel vs. Capcom Collection should not be on here. Let's back it up a little bit. What is the main reason people are buying Marvel vs. Capcom, right? Collection to play Marvel vs. Capcom 2. You're telling me Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is nominated for one of the best fighting games of the year in 2024. And then obviously we have Multiverses. How are you going to be you won when you're a fucking beta, bro? And you're on here again? If Tekken 8 doesn't win this shit, it goes to prove that these people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I mean, they obviously don't. Fucking Sifu was nominated for Best Fighting Game of the Year one year. The year that Multiverses won. Sifu's not a fucking fighting game.
Well, I would say that the reason why Multiverses is on here is because I'm pretty sure WB probably paid because they're struggling. They got to make sure
Yeah.
they got something, So that's probably why that's on this list.
Yeah, and also, and to tie it back into what we talked about, why isn't Street Fighter 6 in best ongoing game? We just got new DLC, right? That shouldn't that qualify, right? And Dio, even though Mortal Kombat 1 came out last year, why can't that be in best ongoing game? Right?
Yeah, because there was they just released the Scream guy as the latest
Ghostface
playable fighter. Yeah.
Yeah, so all those games should technically qualify. But this goes to show how much of a joke this is. Multiverses is nominated again. And it shouldn't have been nominated in the first place. It was a fucking beta. Yeah, it's also
it's not even a fighting game.
It's not a fighting game. It's not even a fighting game. So, Chris, you have a game that was a beta, that wasn't a fighting game, and it's back again.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Tekken 1 should be. It's the only legit. I'm sorry, Marvel vs. Capcom is an old fucking collection of games, bro.
It's supposed to be a really good game.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on here. Best family game. Here we go. Princess Peach Showtime, Astrobot, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, The Plucky Squire. All right.
All right, so...
Yeah, Astrobot is what I would give it to, because that's the only one I played. Yeah.
I think it's Astrobot. It's the other game that
Mario,
would compete for this.
Yeah.
Well, no, the other game I think that would compete for this is The Plucky Squire, because I hear a lot about that game. But I think it's going to be Astrobot.
Yeah. Is it that the game Manny was playing? I think it was.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Moving on here. Best sim/strategy game, because we got to put these categories together and then separate other shit that shouldn't be separated. All right. Frostpunk 2. Never even heard of that game. Age of Mythology, Kunitsugami, Manor Lords, and Unicorn Overlord. I don't know.
All right. My pick is Kunitsugami. Yes. Yeah.
Didn't you?
But that's probably not going to win.
Yeah, Path of the Goddess. I haven't played any of these games. I've never heard of some of these games, so I don't have anything to say. But you guys are free to chime in.
I have no idea. I think I've seen a little bit of Kunitsugami. Isn't that the one with the all the yokai and stuff for like your units or soldiers? Yeah, that's the only one. I don't know what Frostpunk 2 is. Unicorn Overlord. That sounds like a band.
It's a vanillaware game. That's all I know about it. But it does sound like a band, doesn't it? You know. All right, moving on. Brian, your favorite category: sports/racing game. Let's get into it. F1 24, EA Sports FC, FIFA, NBA 2K, Top Spin 2K25, and WWE 2K24. Yes, because F1, a racing game, is comparable to WWE, a wrestling game.
This look at this category. It's like it's list of games that released this year.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of really about this category because it's but the fact that all of these games have like a year attached to them. Chances are next year will be the exact same games, just with new numbers at the end.
Change the numbers.
Exactly. And I just noticed that it's EA and 2K, and that's it.
Yep.
Yeah. No.
Competition.
Yeah, you're right. You're shit. Wow.
Oh man.
Joke. All right. Best multiplayer game. I thought we did that already, but all right. Call of Duty, Helldivers 2, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Tekken 8, Warhammer. All right. These are multiplayer games, so kudos there. I don't know which one do you guys think is going to win this. Probably Call of Duty or maybe Warhammer.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, probably
Helldivers, maybe.
Yeah, could be Helldivers if it doesn't win another category. You know.
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Why hasn't Warhammer been nominated for more stuff?
It's a good question.
It feels like they're giving that to Shaft also. So I don't like that.
It's not as good as Call of Duty. Doesn't have the roadie.
Also-
the roadie run.
This next category is annoying because I thought this was a video game awards.
Yeah, let's get into it. Thank you for saying that, Chris, because I was confused by best adaptation, but this is literally TV shows.
This TV or
This
movies.
Here we go. Here we go. All right, best adaptation: Arcane, Fallout, Knuckles, Like a Dragon, Yakuza, Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft. Why is this category here? It's not fucking video games, bro. And isn't Arcane? Didn't that shit come out like years ago, or is this season 3
That was
or
like
whatever?
last year or something.
There
I know
was
there's another one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now here is the controversy with this category. I would like to know what
Besides
is
the fact
cutoff
that it
point.
exists.
But what is the cutoff point for these picks? Because the Arcane season, the new season hasn't started yet. It's starting like I think in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that's on here.
I thought it had started.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it has. But here's the other question: is we all know this Like a Dragon show? What the hell is this on here? This just came out. Is it that popular? I haven't heard nobody talking about this show.
No, it's so good. I have no idea.
Whatever, man. All right, moving on. Most anticipated game, and here we go. Here we go. This is the part where they bring out Hideo Kojima, son.
Oh god.
Yeah, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yote, Chris's most anticipated game, Grand Theft Auto 6, Metroid Prime 4.
Are you fucking serious?
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's been like a decade of this fucking game and this shit.
Yo, Reggie announced this game. That's how long ago it was.
What is this for?
For most anticipated game.
Okay, I thought I was going fucking crazy. I did hear that right.
Yeah, no, but Brett, this game has been nominated for this category for like 5 years in a row or something.
I know. I was just.
Oh my god! And then the game I actually do want to win because it is legitimately my most anticipated game, motherfucking Monster Hunter Wilds. Oh, by the way, hold up. That's what I wanted to say. If Multiverses could win a fucking category, right, as a beta, give this fucking game a fucking win for something. Right? The beta was only for a week.
Beta came out.
The beta came out. It was fucking dope. Why was it not nominated? By your rules, Mr. Keeley. You know?
Jeff Keighley.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
I like that Monster Hunter Wilds is on here, but let me ask y'all a serious question.
Uh-oh.
Do y'all believe this is going to win over Grand Theft Auto 6?
I don't believe this is going to win over Death Stranding.
I don't think Death Stranding is going to win, brother.
No, I think so because of the Jeff Keighley Hideo Kojima love affair.
Yeah. Okay, so let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Didn't he say the next Death Stranding? Didn't they? And correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard in passing. Isn't it going to be an Xbox exclusive?
No, not Death Stranding. Not next, right?
It's the one after that.
It's a new game that's going to be the exclusive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Brett, I'm saying Death Stranding shouldn't win, not because it deserves to win, but because of the love affair.
You should get I think that love affair will be tampered a little bit if it's an Xbox exclusive.
But it's not Xbox exclusive.
For the next one.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I will say this: the love affair is strong. Remember, Jeff, I hear you calling.
Yeah.
That love affair is strong, but I will say this: Jeff Keighley is all about the money, man. And there's one game that sold more than probably all these other franchises combined. Was just one other game.
One game that sold more than every single game on this whole show combined. Yeah.
Yeah. Grand Theft Auto 6 is the money maker. You gotta give him the money. So I will say this: the only thing that could, break the love affair is is the moneymaker, and GTA 6 is the moneymaker here.
Yo, Carlos,
So,
I got a theory. Potentially Miss Cleo.
oh,
Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to win this category, followed by a new trailer.
That's
right.
interesting.
Yeah, that,
So I'm going to go with
I
that.
like that theory.
Oh.
Yeah, I like it.
So Tony, are you saying a new Grand Theft Auto trailer, or are you mean a new Death Stranding trailer with the release date?
Yeah, no. Ooh, that's a good one too. No, but I think if it's Grand Theft Auto, we're gonna get a trailer. Actually, we're probably gonna get a trailer for all of these, whichever one wins. You know, because remember they got to make the money. You know,
Gotta make the money. Gotta pay the bills. Gotta make Jeff rich.
yeah, man. All right, here we yeah. Brett, what do you have? Like 5 minutes left or 10 minutes before you gotta, go.
Well, if they're on time, they're cutting my internet off for maintenance, so I'm totally not being censored or hunted by the CIA.
Yeah, just in case.
So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Brett doesn't want to unalive himself or anything like that. If he stops talking,
I have no intention of unaliving myself. So if something happens to me, Keely got to me.
You imagine Brett's in the middle of a fucking rant and it just ends. All right, here we go. My favorite category. Content creator of the year.
Oh God.
Listen, I'm gonna probably misspell some of these because I don't know these fucking people. Case O, Ilio Juan, Techno Gamers with a Z, Typical Gamer, Usada Pecora. I don't know who any of these fucking people are.
Okay, I have a direct response for this.
Yeah.
No.
Nobody cares.
True.
Nobody
However,
cares.
I don't even think the people listening
Okay.
up there care.
Tony,
Brian,
I have to say, I knew it was spelled with a Z before you even said something.
Of course, yeah.
Hey Brian, before you go, can I? Before you go, can I guess what you're gonna say?
go on.
Is it related to Sada Pecora? And that's all I'll say.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Whatever you're gonna say, I agree.
You saw what I just did, Carlos? Over my head.
It's over your head. Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about.
Okay. Yeah. Firstly, I don't know who any of these people are. All I know is that one of them has been pictured with Kojima.
Oh, so that's right.
Yeah.
Going to be the guy that wins then, or a girl. I don't know. I don't want to assume genders here.
Well, one is like the virtual. What do you call it?
Oh God,
VTuber?
it's one of those like the Ichi
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Is it Usada Pecora by any chance?
Mhm.
Of course,
Yeah,
I knew it. I can just tell. There's a name for those fucking streamers too. All right.
I forgot.
Yeah, but
I
you know
always
what I'm
forget the
talking
name.
about.
Well, you
yeah.
mean the VTubers?
VTubers?
VTubers,
Yes.
yeah, there
Yeah,
you
that's it. Yeah. So a fucking VTuber may win this shit. I'm googling this shit. Internet personality. Oh, it's a little lolly girl. Of course it is. All right, here we go. All right, next up. Best esports game.
Yo, Tony. So I
Carlos,
went to the site.
Okay, go ahead. Fucking step
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. Hold on, before. So I'll just say what you're gonna say. Counter Strike 2. It's finally there. Yeah. Yep. But another thing, I just clicked on the site. I went to that esports game category. Why do these freaking everything after Counter Strike 2 looks exactly the same? Look at these. The art style.
Oh my God. You mean like League of Legends and Mobile Legends
And Valorant.
Yeah, they do.
They all look the same.
But again, these are the games that we thought should have been listed like a bunch of categories ago for ongoing game.
Yep.
All of them except for Bang Bang. I never heard of that shit.
Yeah, bang, man. I don't know.
I don't know what's gonna win. Valorant. I don't fucking know. Go ahead.
That's a horrible title. Mobile Legends Bang Bang. What the hell kind of title is that?
Sounds like a game Lawrence Davis would play.
Here's a funny fact. 2 of these games have already won before.
Of course they have.
Oh, what?
To make it even better, both of them have won at least twice before.
Oh my God.
Oh.
One of them has won 3 times before.
What? 3 times?
Yeah, League of Legends won three times, Valorant won twice.
Jesus. What a joke of a show, man. All right, here we go. Best esports athlete.
It's gonna be Faker.
I'm just waiting for Tony to do his infamous one word, 3 letters quote.
You mean who?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any of these fucking people, but I'll go down the list here. I'm guessing the first name here is their gamer tag and then the real name.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll just go by their gamer.
I can't wait until you get to like that one guy.
Should I humiliate myself and actually say the name?
Do it.
Fuck it. 33 or Neta Shapira, Alex Sib / Alexei Virolainen, Chovy, Jong Ji Hoon, Faker, which Carlos, I guess that's your favorite, Lee Sang Hyuk, Ziwu, Matthew Herbout, and Zim just sounds like I'm fucking throwing up, you know. Zheng Yongkang. I probably said that name right, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know who these fucking people are.
Faker is a freaking god in Korea. That's the only reason I know him.
What does he play?
I know of him.
What does he play?
League of Legends, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like a actual like super huge celebrity over there. And I think they just won recently or something like that. I don't know, and I think he's won it like multiple times already. So I would say he'd probably win again.
Yeah. All right. So there you go. All right, and the last category here, best esports team.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but more people that we're just so familiar with. Billy Gaming, Gen G, Navi or Navy, T1,
Navi.
and Team Liquid.
Liquid.
Yeah.
So, is it safe to assume that the winner of this award and that one we just went over?
Thanks for
means
hanging out,
that
Jolly. Just real quick, thank you for hanging out, Jolly Yellow Nerd, and thank you for some of the info you dropped tonight. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Rich.
So, is it safe to assume the winner of the best team and the best whatever that last one was, is that going to basically be what ends up winning the best esports game? So, League of Legends. So, we're going to choose a League of Legends player, and we're going to choose the team to win as well. Is that the category? That's the format they're going to follow?
I guess.
Yeah, I agree, Rich. The T1 is a team where that Faker guy's at.
Okay.
Sure that'll win.
I'm surprised. You know what they needed? They needed a category for shortest lived game because Concord will win that one. Yeah. Oh, and for Games for Change, Brian, why didn't they have Dustborn?
It didn't change anything. Also, Carlos, your boy Faker has won it twice before.
Oh yeah.
Once last year, and the second time in 2017.
Yeah, he's been around.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts on this atrocity of a fucking show?
I'm just waiting for the next Monster Hunter trailer, so yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah.
I just want to make a comment, and even though this will not happen, this is my hope that one day they will have a category for the biggest flop of the year so that we can appropriately pay respect to the games that were a complete garbage. Because Suicide Squad would also be on that list.
Yeah. No nominations, I noticed. Yeah, flop of the year, you know?
I just hope we get a world premiere.
Yeah, world premiere. So yeah, this is going to be another shit show. And as promised, if Balatro wins Game of the Year, this will be the last time we stream this bullshit. I'm not even kidding. We're done with it. We'll make fun of it after the fact, obviously, but we're not streaming this bullshit. And you know that how long was the last one? It was like 4 hours long because like half of it was fucking commercials.
Those commercials, yeah.
Yeah. So how long is this one with all these fucking bullshit categories they added this year? You know? 5-hour show. You know? We'll start the fucking show at 8 p.m., finish at like 1 or something, you know? Bullshit.
I think
yeah.
add the Bill Clinton kid as an esports athlete.
There you go. He may as well be.
Well,
I wouldn't know.
Best performance.
Best performance. Yeah. All right, man. Let's move on. There's actually quite a lot of news, but we won't last too long because we got like half an hour done. It's like we already went long enough. But some interesting things happened this week. So earlier this week, it was reported that Sony was interested in buying Kadokawa for our. What interests us is that Kadokawa owns From Software, right? So that was kind of a big deal, and Kadokawa came out to confirm, yes, indeed, Sony did reach out to them, inquiring about acquiring them. And what I found, the reason I really want to talk about the story is because I noticed that a lot of the same people that were against Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard were championing this. Oh yeah, we want Sony. We want people to buy. We want Sony to buy From Software.
Absolutely not.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah, I would be against. Absolutely against
100% against.
No fucking way. Because here's the thing. Let's be honest. Even though Sony is a Japanese company, they behave more like a Western company, and what they're gonna fucking do to From Software. So I don't trust it. And then on top of that, the real, and this is not, we would have to do like fucking revive Otanime, because the real thing that's happening here is like Sony would control like almost 70% of all anime if this were to happen, because they already own Crunchyroll and Funimation or whatever. They own a lot of anime.
They bought Aniplex too.
Aniplex, yeah. So they would, if this were to go through, they would own like 70% of the anime industry, which we don't want,
No.
So hopefully this doesn't come to pass. Yeah, not good. But we'll see. But again, I do find it funny that the same people that were again, we don't like acquisitions. I can't even pronounce it. We don't like acquisitions. We don't like them. Oh yeah, this is great. Let's have it. Sony, let's go. Very interesting. Another one here that I also find very interesting. Call of Duty is now more popular on Xbox for the first time in over a decade. Ooh, I wonder what happened. Maybe getting the game for free, change things.
Crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, we kind of called it here. Although I still maintain that the game will sell more physical copies on PlayStation, just because obviously it will, But more player engagement, Brett, your favorite word, on Xbox. It seems like,
It's always a good thing with those types of games.
Yeah. Certain enough says it sold worse on Xbox. Yeah, but it has more players on Xbox. I'm curious about the subscription numbers if they went up. But again, the only source I'll tell is Microsoft. That's just basically trust me, bro. So we'll see. Speaking about now, we're gonna flip things over. PS5 Pro is out, and some people aren't happy. Uh-oh. Apparently, some of the patched games have been experiencing some graphical issues, man. Some of the games in question are Silent Hill 2, Call of Duty, and Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And I've seen some of the screenshots, like, after they've been patched, they actually look worse. So imagine you bought a $700 console, bro. You pop in these games, and they look fucking worse. Can you imagine that shit? That's crazy, man. Here's a user. I love my PS5 Pro for the most part. Most games look wonderful, but there seems to be an issue with some games. There's this weird shimmering, aliasing, whatever you want to call it. One big example is Black Ops 6. I thought my Pro was faulty or something, but it turns out I'm not the only one, who noticed it. I've seen several social media posts who report the same issue. So, kind of fucked up. This is what Digital Foundry says about Star Wars Jedi Survivor. There are severe image quality concerns when elements like foliage interact with ray tracing. The end result is a strobing image quality downgrade that makes this Pro patch difficult to recommend. Uh-oh.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, yeah, Sarah Air Force, don't go to bat for them, bro. He says it's on the developers. Yeah, sure, but still not a good look if you bought a $700
I don't think so, because whatever interface that Sony gave them to render graphics and stuff is faulty. It's not. It's working fine on the standard PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
So it should translate to PS5 Pro, but it's obviously broken. They didn't break it with the patch. They're just following Sony's advice and changing, whatever methods and APIs and whatever. But it's just provided by Sony. They don't make it up.
Yeah. So yeah, you're gonna have to fix that shit because that's a bad look. All right, another quick thing here. Speaking about the PlayStation, so the PlayStation Portal is actually going to become a little bit more useful. With an asterisk, though, you're actually going to be able to stream games that are on the PlayStation Collection, which is good, but you can't still stream your own games, which is bad. But basically, you can play the game via the cloud now instead of just through PlayStation Roleplay. One of the biggest problems that people have had with this system is that, unless you're connected to your own PlayStation, this shit doesn't work. It's just a brick, basically. But now, at least, you'll be able to stream stuff, via cloud. But the kicker is, it's in beta now, and it's only for PlayStation Premium subscribers, the top tier of PlayStation Plus.
Shout out to Manny.
Shout out, yeah. So he does have that, doesn't he? So we got to get him a portal then. So yeah, this is bullshit. It's it's a little bit better, but I still maintain that this system is it's dumb. Even though it sold very well, because I believe a lot of people thought it was a portable PlayStation 5, not realizing you can't play shit locally on there. I honestly believe that.
Yeah.
Assyrian Effort says you can stream games of PS Plus Premium without PS5. Yeah, that's why it's a little bit more useful than it was before. But before you need that PS5. Also, speaking about streaming, Xbox Cloud Gaming is expanding. It says you can now stream 50 new games from xCloud servers if you own the titles and have a Game Pass Ultimate subscription. Because before you were just, anybody correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't have Xbox Game Pass, as Kotaku would let you know 2 years ago. Fucking insane. But yeah, basically, you only had access to whatever games were in their library. But now you could actually play some of your own, but they still have to be part of this 50 games or whatever. So that's kind of good. And this is for mobile devices and shit. So if you're not playing it on your phone or whatever, you could stream this stuff, I wonder if you could set up your PlayStation Portal to stream Xbox games. Just throwing that out there. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? All right, so there's that. We got to talk about Rich's game of the year, Microsoft Flight Simulator, bro. Rich, this was a hot mess, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was very surprised to see what happened. I guess.
Yeah, give us a breakdown.
Let me just make a comment.
Yeah, go ahead. You give us a rundown of it.
So, Microsoft Flight Simulator did come out, and I noticed that I did receive a code for this on Steam, even though I was supposed to receive a Xbox code. But then I had noticed a lot of people talking about all of the severe issues with the Steam version, where there were people talking about there was the long loading screens and all types of issues they were having with the game. And I thought that was a very interesting situation, because when the reviews came out for this, the next day, Stalker 2 reviews came out, and apparently there was a day one patch that people didn't get access to with Stalker 2. So there was a lot of mixed thoughts on the game. Now, I heard that the game is better now because the patch is out, but just not really a good week for Xbox, I would say.
Yeah, they're taking a lot of L's.
Yeah, Stalker 2 is out now. I did download it, so I am going to try it out this weekend, but I am glad to hear that a lot of the issues have been fixed on the PC version. I have no idea if that's the case for the Xbox version. But yeah, Flight Simulator, I haven't tried it out yet, so I don't really know. All I know is that people were complaining about the Steam reviews, and then when you go to the Steam website, right now it's what did I say it was? Mostly, how they have the reviews for, whether it's positive.
Is it still overwhelmingly negative?
There you go. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah, that's what it says. And I was fascinated because I've never seen a game get that type of rating. So that's not good. Hopefully they fix that.
Yeah. And okay, so other interesting things about this game. So, like, there were no review codes sent to people until like the day of or whatever, or the day right before.
The day of.
Yeah, the day of, and then the day of, like you said, Rich, nobody can log in because the shit wasn't working. And Microsoft even came out to say they were not anticipating the enthusiasm people had for this game. So basically, they weren't expected to be overloaded by people who wanted to play it. I'm like, the last game did very well. You didn't anticipate this, really? So yeah, huge L for Xbox. But I think things are better now. I know my boss was trying it out in the office yesterday. He seemed pretty impressed by it. He also reviewed the previous one, so we'll see. All right, another story here. Speaking about Steam, so they've outlined major changes to season pass and DLC rules. Basically, the long and short of it is you have to disclose everything that's in a season pass now. Some, particularly with fighting games, it's just like, hey, here's season 2. You don't know who the fuck you're getting. They kind of roll it out and stuff. If this comes to pass, you have to disclose all that shit per Steam. If you want your game on Steam, you need to just disclose all that stuff. And I want to get you guys' thoughts on it. Do you think this is a good thing or a bad thing? Does anybody care?
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because people either you could make a regretful decision if you don't know what is in the packs, right? And maybe Steam is suffering, especially lately, probably a deluge of refund requests and whatnot, and they're tired of it. So it's like, hey, if you just disclose what's in here, people will make a decision whether to purchase it or not, like if it's worth it to them. I think it makes sense from that perspective.
Yeah, so this let me read this real quick. This is from GameSpot. I would say GameSpot, whatever. Publisher, where am I? Among the changes, publishers will now have to provide a description of each DLC as well as a 3-month launch window. Publishers will only get a chance to change the DLC date once within a 3-month window beyond the originally scheduled date without risking Valve stepping in to resolve the situation by potentially refunding players the price of the DLC. So this is what Valve says. By offering a season pass, you are promising future content. In the process of launching a season pass, you will be asked to commit to a launch timing for each content release in the season pass. That launch timing is a commitment to both customers and Steam. If you aren't ready to clearly communicate about the content included in each DLC and when each DLC will be ready for launch, you shouldn't offer a season pass on Steam. Damn, bro,
Yeah.
That's wild. Chris, what's your thoughts on that?
No, it's, they're just making a hardline stance on this, and I think the only reason they would do that is if they've been getting screwed on refunds. So they're just setting this rule like, hey, look, we're just not going to carry your content if you cannot meet these requirements, because what they want to do is mitigate those buyer's remorse, right? They have a refund policy. You and the publishers are just playing fast and loose with telling you what's in it or not. And then you make a regretful decision. You put in a refund request, and maybe I think they've increased this year, so they probably just are tired of it.
Yeah. Here we go. This is fascinating stuff. Additionally, Valve is now restricting season passes to partners with which we have a well-established relationship and that have a proven track record on Steam. Games that do include season passes are also required to have at least one DLC ready to go when launched. The only exception to that rule is for season passes that are included in pre-purchases for deluxe editions. So I think this is good. Like, for the most part, just giving people like letting you know exactly what you're getting in this season pass. But I will say, and I'm kind of relating this to fighting games. It will, even though it will be good to just know all the characters. Like, for example, with Street Fighter 6, you know who you're getting in season 2. They just laid it all out, right? But at the same time, with the way Tekken's doing it, where you don't know, it kind of does take away that hype. But I would rather not have the hype and just know what the fuck I'm getting, you know? So I think this is good. This is what happens when your company isn't owned by a big fucking, you know, conglomerate or whatever. They're still independent, you know. They're not, you know, BlackRock isn't going in there doing some bullshit or whatever, you know. So good on Steam, you know. And the last story, I don't have this listed here because this happened right before the show, and I lost my fucking shit, bro. Sega just decided out of nowhere to drop a fucking trailer for Virtua Fighter 5 that's coming to Steam, bro. I was like, what? Like, I don't know if you guys saw some of the reactions to like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. There was this one guy. He was choking. He was so excited he was choking. I almost choked when I saw this shit. So yeah, so it's called Virtua Fighter 5 R.E.V.O. It's coming this winter, and it has rollback netcode, which is great. Up to 60 FPS 4K support and gameplay balance adjustments and more. So this is basically the PS5 version that came out in 2022 with the that's running on the Dragon engine. But it's, you know, it's gonna be on fucking PC, so it's gonna look better, you know, and it's gonna have some balance adjustments and stuff, and rollback netcode, which is the best kind of netcode you want for, you know, fighting games. Even though I think that the delay-based netcode of the PS4 version was okay, but this is just better. But yeah, it's out of nowhere. And to me, the reason I'm so excited about this, I could play this game right now on PS5. The reason I'm excited for this, remember, Sega, and we talked about this last week, Sega said, we are working on the next Virtua Fighter. So this is what I hope happens. And this will make that fucking bullshit show worth it. I hope that during the Game Awards, we get a fucking reveal for Virtua Fighter 6. They've had Sega shit before, you know? So it's not out of the realm of possibility. But this shit got me fucking crazy, bro. You know? Like, Virtua Fighter 5, like, it's another sign. It's another sign, man. So I'm fucking stoked. Let me calm down. You guys saw how hype I got with Marvel vs. Capcom Collection, and I specifically said the only other game that gave me this fucking hype is a new Virtua Fighter. And Sega says, we are working on the new Virtua Fighter. So it's going to happen. And this is just more proof that it's coming, you know? Oh, I can't wait, you know? All right, so that's that. But before we leave, Rich, you could finally talk about this, man. You have played a game. Okay, so for you guys who don't know, Rich was not here for a couple of days, a couple of weeks ago. And I was like, he's at an event. That's all I said to people. But now you can actually tell people what you were checking out.
Yeah, so I did miss the Throwdown a couple weeks ago because I actually went to LA for a media event for Path of Exile 2.
Tell us everything.
Tell us everything.
So, this game obviously is going to be launching in early access. I believe it's December 6th. It was initially supposed to launch around the 15th of this month, but they had to delay it because there's a lot of things they wanted to carry over from Path of Exile 2 as far as from Path of Exile, they wanted to carry over to the sequel because people purchased different things, so on and so forth. So they delayed it for some time. So when I went to this event in LA, pretty much they had a 2-hour presentation where they basically talked about everything that we can expect from the game. I also saw that they had a similar presentation today, more of a briefing. So there is a video, a very detailed video presentation that you guys can watch on their YouTube channel. This is the Grinding Gears Games if you want to get additional details. But what I will say is this, obviously going into Path of Exile, this is a free-to-play action RPG. I heard a lot of things about the first game, but I obviously defer to our very good friend Brett here because he is the one that talked highly about that game, and that made me interested to check out this game. And I will tell you right now, this game is badass. First and foremost, I know earlier in this show, we mentioned this game called Failguard, and I do want to say this because I know we criticized the game, but one of the criticisms I heard about the game is that the tone is just, it feels like a Pixar stylized game, right? So because of how the characters treat each other, how they talk to each other, this game is the exact opposite. This feels like an adult, mature theme, very brutal, very violent type of game. And this is exactly what I want to play if I want to play any type of RPG game. It takes place 20 years after the first game, where the corruption makes a return. And essentially, this time around, what they have done to the game is, because they listened to a lot of the player feedback, they've added cinematics into some of the game to tell the story. There is a cinematic trailer they released that's out right now. Okay, it's out right now. I also wrote a preview, and I included this trailer in my preview. I will tell all of you to watch that, because that will tell you right off the bat, this game is very dark. There doesn't feel like there's any hope whatsoever, because you see a whole bunch of people getting slaughtered in this trailer. And hey, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. But to get to the game itself, yeah, I spent about pretty much all day when I was at that preview event in Los Angeles playing through the game. For those that are interested in the early access content, I can tell you right now, this, in my opinion, they're offering a ton of content, because they announced this game, I believe, back in 2019, and they've been working on it for quite some time. So it is a bit, like I said, again, it is free to play, but this is what you can expect. The game has 6 acts. When it launches in early access in about 2 weeks, you'll get access to the first 3 acts.
Oh, wow.
And that's essentially 25 hours of gameplay. Straight up. 25 hours of gameplay.
I think I just heard that drop on the floor right now.
I'm okay. I'm okay. Just a little head wound. Let's keep going.
So to go along with the 25 hours of gameplay, they have about 50 different bosses and 400 different monster types.
Shit.
This is all just the start, because they're planning to increase that number. So by the time the final game is released, it's going to be 100 bosses and 800 monster types. Okay. Difficulty.
Diablo launch with 3 bosses.
Well, say what?
It's a Diablo launch with like 3 bosses.
the fucking early access of this shit, it's gonna have 100 of them.
I see. I did not know that. Diablo can learn a lot from this game. That's what it sounds like. Of course, they also have the difficulty. It's a second difficulty level. I think the level cap for this particular early access is up to 65, and then it continues on there. Once you get to that level cap, they have a lot of different in-game bosses, expeditions, and other challenges in the game that they showed us a preview of this stuff, but really it's just there are a ton of things. The passive skills tree, right? This is a game where I didn't know how detailed they get with the passive skill trees. This game will launch with over 1,500 different passive skill trees.
Wow.
And so there's a lot of ways to upgrade. And then the most important thing as well is launching with 6 different character classes that you can choose from. That includes the monk, the sorceress, the warrior, the ranger, the witch, and the mercenary. And if you don't think that's enough, they are also going to be adding 6 more character classes as well over time. Now, I don't know what those other 6 classes are, because they didn't really dive into any of that information. They'll tell us, obviously, as time goes on. But overall, when I jumped into this game, from the very beginning, I just like, obviously, the graphics and the expand, how massive the world is very, very outstanding. I like the fact that when you go to the character selection screen at the very beginning, when you choose your class of character, actually the way they set it up is all the characters are pretty much about to be hanged. So after you choose the character class that you want to play as, you escape, and every other character that they show gets hanged. And You escape. You find a way
Oh
out.
shit!
You fall over a ledge, and then when the game starts, you're basically on this desert. Area washed ashore, and that's when you start to play the game. And you're basically exploring the world. There are objectives that you complete, different missions, so on and so forth. Hordes of enemies coming at you from every angle. There's a lot to the game. And then, of course, the best thing is when you get to those boss battles, like these bosses are all massive in size and scale. So you have to have some type of strategy when you're playing this game. Now, when I was at the event, they did encourage us to play cooperatively if possible. I can tell you that I did that, but I will also tell you when I did play solo and I got to those boss battles, like some of those battles were absolutely really tough because you do level up over time. But I will say this is a game where I say when you play up against a really challenging boss and you finally beat him, you feel that very good sense of reward. You feel great that you got it done. It's a great feeling. So overall, I would say, I mean, I only played it for for most of that day that I was there. That was not enough time. I definitely need more time to play it. But I will say this. I definitely would encourage you all to check out the preview that I have on our website right now, thecoalition.com. I'm going to be doing a lot more content for this game. And I will definitely say this, and this is just my personal opinion. Everybody might not agree with what I have to say, but I will say this. This is an outstanding action RPG game. I would say if you have an itch for something that's ambitious, it's new, and it's in a dark fantasy stylized world, this is the game to play. Not Dragon Age or any of this other garbage. All right, so just ignore Dragon Age, just ignore Diablo, play this game instead. And again, it's free to play, so there's no excuse not to try it out. But yes, more content coming soon, and of course, we will talk about it in more detail also when it comes out. And I think we got like maybe 2 or 3 weeks from now, it'll be out everywhere.
That's what's up, Brett. I know you have questions, man. So go ahead.
Oh, bro, I don't even. I'm just so excited. I can't even think of any right now. Like I'm just, because like I know you said you didn't play a lot of Diablo. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Did you like? And I assume that is that the most recent one, or is that including older ones too?
I actually haven't played any of the Diablo games. I can try out Diablo now because I believe it's on Game Pass.
Yeah. So like I guess as a fresh person that comes to it, like I think Tony has this perception of these games kind of being disconnected or not actiony, I want to say, and not. I'm kind of using Tony as a bit of a stand because I think a lot of people are like, oh no, it's top down, so that means it's not going to be very action oriented. So,
but it is though. I by the way, just to clarify, I never said that, and I have seen Diablo gameplay. It's like almost nonstop action. So I don't know.
What was it that we were talking? Like, because I remember you and I were talking about how it being a top down. Like, why is it not interesting to you because it's a top down?
Because it's top down. That's literally. I don't like the camera angle. I don't like the camera angle. That's what it is.
I must have been talking to somebody else about that.
Yeah. No, the game's like it's nothing but fucking action. Oh, and what's the other thing that bothered me? Oh, that is basically like a looter base. Like that's all you're really doing and shit. You're just grinding for loot. There's a name for that shit. I'm forgetting it now. It's a looter game. So that's another thing. I'm like, I don't know about that. Yeah. And Brett, just so you know, the first game I saw was Diablo 2. See my boy grinding on that for fucking weeks on PC back in the day. So I am very familiar with it.
Like, grind. Well, I mean, you could say the same thing about a lot of those old school RPGs. Like, holy fuck, they were brutal.
Like every time I go to my dude's house, he's just grinding on Diablo 2. I'm like, damn, my man, get it in. Anyway, continue. It was great. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Brett, about Diablo.
I don't think I have any questions. Like I've been following this, and I'm generally I'm generally pretty excited, and from its inception, I think this was a bit of a response to Diablo. So like, I mean, the most I could ask is like to like a fresh newcomer, like, because I know it's one of those like the theory crafting on it is absolutely insane. Like there are thousands of different builds that you can make. So I guess like how accessible and just fun did it seem to somebody who's new to the genre? And would you recommend it to people who haven't necessarily played ARPGs before?
Okay, so first and foremost, I would 1000% recommend this to anybody that hasn't played these type of games before. I will say this for context. I will try out Diablo 4 just so I can compare the two.
That's good.
But I will tell you right now, based on what you have said as well as others, I am preparing to be disappointed by Diablo 4. So we'll see what happens. But
Diablo 4
no,
got a great story. It is worth playing just to kind of catch the narrative story. And you can do that for free on Game Pass. Where it really lacks is after the story's over, because the story lasts like 40 hours, right? And people play, these kind of games are meant to be played over and over and over and over again. They'll do new seasons, they'll do mix-ups to gear and things like that. And people roll new characters. That's the idea of a season, is so that everybody kind of rolls new characters together, and it kind of starts the competitive nature again. So like these games are meant to be played almost like an activity. So while a great narrative is great, it's not what a lot of people are there for.
So one thing I will say about Path of Exile 2, they have a very good plan as far as the rolling out of the content, because this is supposed to have 6 acts in the story, but at the early access point, you're getting access to 3 acts, and this is about, as they said, 25 hours of gameplay. And I think that's interesting because even after you get past those 3 acts, they have a lot of the in-game content, and that was the one thing that the producer did mention at the at the media thing, is that when they made this game, they thought about the in-game specifically as well, because they listened to the player feedback and they wanted to have a game that you can keep coming back to, and there was always something more to explore. So I definitely got a feel for that with everything that they showed. Of course, I will mention that they did not mention when the other acts 4 through 6 will be available, because right now they're only focused on the first 3 acts of the story. But everything I saw, it's like, this is a game that I don't think this is a game you can just play and then you'll put down maybe for a period of time. This feels like this you'll be playing this for a while, because there's a lot to get through based on everything that I've seen so far. So it definitely is something that I would recommend, and it is going to be in early access, so people will have an opportunity to try it out. But yeah, I think it's great for those that are interested. They should check it out just to see. But I will say this: if they do like action RPGs that are going to be a bit of a challenge, they may enjoy this game for sure.
That's what's up. All right, man. Thanks for that. And obviously, we will be talking more about Path of Exile when it drops. I definitely want to hear both of your thoughts, like, because maybe you'll play together. Who knows? Dope stuff, man. All right, let's start wrapping it up here. Rich, what else is happening with the Coalition this week?
So, myself and Dana will be recording another episode of the Cross Review. Haven't had a chance to do it this week because it's been very busy, so stay tuned for that. As for the Coalition gaming side, there's going to be more Path of Exile 2 content coming. I also have another game that I have been playing that I cannot talk about, but I will talk about that next week because the embargo ends early next week.
Ooh, okay.
So stay tuned for that. More reviews will be getting posted. I know Adam is working on some things. And by the way, even though I did slander Dragon Age Veilguard, we actually have somebody that did a review for that, so you should stay tuned and see what they have to say, because I don't know, they may have a different opinion or not. I have no idea. But stay tuned. We got a lot more content coming to the Coalition this week, and obviously well before Thanksgiving.
That's what's up. All right, man. We are done here. Thank you guys for hanging out with us as always. Another good show in the books, man. So make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube, join the Discord, and follow us on your favorite podcast app. Links to everything down below. Once again, our show was Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Chris Seeley. Oh.
Hey, take care, everyone.
There you go. Caught you off guard, son. Manny ain't here, so you're first. Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Brett Murdoch, who stayed with us for the entire show, didn't cut you off.
I fucking made it.
All right. Richard Bailey Jr.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
And Brian Manjoma.
Given how hard Concord came and fell over, I'm surprised that it wasn't awarded games for best impact when it hit the ground.
Yeah, that was a very big impact for sure. All right, guys, we'll see you on Sunday later. Oh, and also, real quick, I'm going to say this again on the Sunday show. Next week, Throwdown, the main show will be on Wednesday night because it's Turkey Day for us Americans on Thursday. So Wednesday, we'll be doing Throwdown. I'll remind you again.